Kia ora, koutou, ko Nick Morrison ho. Hi everyone, I'm Nick Morrison from Go Well Consulting, and thanks for joining this webinar. Some familiar names there, so great to see those of you that we have spoken with before, and to those who haven't come across Go Well before, welcome. For those who aren't aware, this is the Repair Festival week that's run by the Repair Network Aotearoa. And so we wanted to do something to acknowledge that and something to promote repairs as a really critical part of a business's operations and our economy as a whole. We're a sustainability consultancy, so repairs is a huge part of the solutions that we talk about with the clients we work with, and especially when we're thinking about circular economy approaches to business. So joining me in this webinar today is Tessa, who's the head of product and sustainability at Kowtow. If you're not aware of the incredible work that Kowtow do yet, look into them. They are a fashion brand that are based out of Wellington. Tessa will tell you a bit more about them in a moment, but we've been working with Kowtow for about 4 or 5 years, I think now, Tessa. We've written a couple of strategies with them and a couple of reports, and we've done lots of work in between those reports and strategies, delivering on the actions that we write in those documents, and developing a repair program was a key part of their strategy and has become a key part of their business operations today. So we asked Tessa to join us on this webinar and to talk through some of the detail around what Kowtow are doing, how they're doing it, what they've learnt, and the impacts of all of that. So we hope that it's really informative for those of you on the call today to take away and maybe implement your own repair programs if you haven't got them already, or maybe enhance your repair programs if you do have them in place. So Tessa, I'll pass over you to introduce yourself and do a bit better job just sort of talking about Kowtow, and while you're doing that, I'll share screen and bring up the slides.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So thank you for having me, Nick. So yeah, I'm head of product and sustainability here at Kowtow. I've been at Kowtow for 9 years now, working from production through to range planning and sustainability. So making sure that everything that we produce is in a sustainable way, and making sure that we aren't doing any harm to the people or planet. Kowtow started we're coming up to 20 years next year. So we are a fair trade organic cotton clothing brand based here in Wellington, and we produce all of our garments in India.
Awesome. Before I let you go on any further, Tessa, just quickly the admin stuff for everyone. Just letting you know we are recording this and we will share it through our various channels and on our website. We've done our introductions and just the Q&A function. And so if you've got questions, please put them in the Q&A function, ideally not the chat function. And I'll get to those at the end once Tessa's finished talking more about what Kowtow are doing. Also, just reminding, I've already mentioned this, but it is the Repair Festival this week, and you can see the repairnetwork.org.nz website there if you want to go and find out more events that are happening. There's all sorts of things happening around the Motu, and it's a really great time to be supporting and encouraging repairs for those who aren't aware. I know there's many on this call who are aware, but there's been a bill that went through Parliament to try and change the or enhance, shall I say, the ability to repair products in New Zealand, and this through the committee phase that bills go through in our parliamentary system. It got voted down, and so there's a lot I know on this call who share my frustration with that, but we are encouraging people to reach out to your MPs, especially if they're MPs that are in the government at the moment. So if they're ACT National or New Zealand First MPs, write to them and encourage them to support the bill, because it hasn't actually yet been voted down, but it's looked like that's going to happen. So just wanted to call that out. If you are as passionate as we are about repairs making up a critical part of New Zealand economy, that's something you could do is reach out to your MP and support them. Final thing on that, we did talk about that in our most recent newsletter, and you can find that newsletter on our website. And I see Charlotte has just posted some things in the chat as well relating to that. Anyway, that was my kind of ramble about that. I'm trying to stay really calm because it's quite annoying and frustrating. But anyway, I will pass back to you, Tessa, to carry on and telling us more about Kowtow and how the program works.
Yeah, thanks. So our repair program is designed to keep clothes in use for as long as possible. It starts with the customer getting in touch with us when a garment needs mending, whether it's a small tear, a missing button, or something more significant. Our customers can drop their items into one of our stores or contact our customer care team and send it to our Wellington workroom. Or in Australia, we have 2 repair partners, one in Melbourne and Sydney. And we ask all of the items are returned to us washed and in a tidy condition. Once we receive the item, we assess the garment, and our in-house team or specialist partners carefully mend it using durable techniques that stay true to design integrity of the piece. We repair most garments without including stitching, replacing buttons, repairing holes and tears in woven fabrics, fixing broken or loose straps, elastic replacements, and a variety of techniques for knitwear such as Swiss mending or visible darning. This is a free repair service, except for our Sashiko, which is a Japanese stitching technique. This is a little bit more labor intensive as it's done by hand, so we charge for this service. We use this technique for holes which aren't near a seam. It's a gorgeous technique which you can see on this tapestry just behind me. We aim to repair each item within 4 weeks. When complete, the garment is returned, ready to be worn again, along with a handwritten card thanking the customer for extending the life of their garment, and it's signed by the individual who repaired it. So this creates a meaningful connection between the wearer, the garment, and the hands that cared for it. The repair program is part of our Kowtow Collective, a community that celebrates circular practices and rewards conscious choices. You must become a member of our collective to access this service. Customers who join the collective earn points, not just by shopping, but also by choosing to repair their garments at home. Points can be used towards future purchases or of new season or a pre-loved item from our Relove program. This helps make repair an everyday rewarding part of the Kowtow experience, while also encouraging a culture of care within our wider community. To date, we have repaired almost 2,000 garments in total, so a huge achievement. The types of repairs, depending on the location, because there's limited expertise in the different locations, but so stitching of seams and top stitching, as I said, replacing buttons, holes and tears in woven fabrics, which is generally where we would use the Sashiko technique, broken or loose straps, elastic replacements, or Swiss mending or darning on like visible darning on knitwear. So next slide. So what we've learned along the way, when we first launched, the focus was very much on proving the concept. Would customers want to repair their clothes instead of replacing them? We quickly learned that yes, they do, but we also needed to streamline the process to make it accessible. Over time, we improved everything from the way customers book a repair to turnaround times to ensuring our team have the right training and tools. We also broadened the scope to what we can repair, and now we look at how we can use repair to give garments a second life, not just fix them. We started with just doing repairs in our workroom in Wellington, and then we've expanded it to our repair partners in Melbourne. Called the Social Outfit, and then we've just started a partnership with a Sydney repair partner called the Social Studio. They are both not-for-profit fashion enterprises that provide training, employment, and creative opportunities for refugee and migrant communities through clothing and design. Some of the challenges that we faced along the way was educating the customers on what's repairable and what's not. Items coming in very dirty, and we need to remember that our repair specialists are human too, and handling other people's dirty items is not desirable. Resourcing the program well when doing a marketing push, and timing not to coincide with deadlines within the company. We don't have a full-time machinist working on repairs, so this is something that is part of other people's roles, hence the lead time. But we now have 3 fully trained people in the workroom doing repairs. Getting the word out there to ensure people aren't sending items to landfill or dumping on secondhand stores. And it costs, and it's a little bit of a hidden cost at this stage, but as it expands, we are continually reviewing that cost. But this is really heightened when we get customers dropping off multiple items in one go, because that obviously takes up a lot more of time of our production team. Next slide. So how customers have responded. So the response has been really positive. Many customers say that they love that we stand by the quality of what we make and that we can help them to keep wearing their much loved pieces. It adds value to their initial purchase. Repairs often come with stories, like a favourite dress worn to a special occasion, a memory that customers don't want to lose. It's all part of our circularity mission, which has many pillars. We have care, repair, recycle, and regenerate. We want to keep that item cycling through each one of these loops before it ends up in our take-back program, Regenerate, where we want to return the cotton back to the earth without harm. So highlighting the importance of a natural fibre and becoming plastic-free. By offering repair, we've built deeper trust and loyalty, and it shows we don't just sell clothes, we're here to support their journey long after the purchase. And the bigger picture. So at its core, repair is about respect. Respect for the resources, the people, and the planet that went into making each item. Every time we repair instead of replace, we extend the lifespan of clothing and reduce waste, emissions, and the demand on virgin resources. It's a small act, but multiplied across many customers, it makes a meaningful difference. Repair sits at the heart of our values. It helps people slow down, cherish what they own, and shift away from a throwaway culture, the linear take, make, waste. For us at Kowtow, it's one way we can live our values and contribute to a more circular and thoughtful fashion system, and one that we would encourage every brand offers to their customers. Cool.
Thank you, Tessa. Yeah, awesome. I've got a few questions of my own that I will ask, but just to prompt everyone who's on the webinar now to use that Q&A function for any questions you've got. We've got someone on the call now who has been running a repairs program for a long time, has seen all the ins and outs and the challenges of it, and so she spoke to some of it already, but now's a fantastic opportunity to ask those sort of detailed questions around how these things work. So yeah, go ahead and ask your questions. What I wanted to ask, you kind of touched on it already, Tessa, but those unwashed and unrepairable things, what do you do with that? Do you just sort of just stomach it and wash it for them, or do you send them back?
So a lot of it can be dealt with at the retail space. So
Right.
if it does come in very filthy, then we can politely talk to the customer about possibly returning it in a better state. But sometimes people were a little bit worried about washing it because it might, like, for example, like a flat knit, it might unravel a little bit more. So we just tend to deal with it the best way we can. And yeah, I think, it's kind of a bit of an education piece for people to just be a little bit more conscious around that. But anything that is irreparable, we would generally direct them into our Regenerate program, which we also offer loyalty points for that as well.
Fantastic. Well, just to call that out as well, that we're really much focusing on your repair program, but that you've got a far bigger, circular program solution that you do. So that this, is the hierarchy of sort of waste management or circular economy stuff thinking goes. You try and keep things at their highest value for as long as possible. So repairing first before getting them into that kind of lower option. So sorry, just acknowledging that this is not the only kind of circular solution or program that you've got going. Just around the unrepairable piece and tying that back to cost, is that the main reason things aren't repairable, just because it gets too expensive to repair it, or are some things just literally so beyond repair?
Well, I think for some people it might be like, well, we've had a shirt that's been caught on fire once, which we can't really repair that. It tends to be around things where we don't currently offer a dyeing service. So that's generally something that we can't repair. So if someone's sort of got a fade mark or a bleach mark or something like that, knitted holes in sort of the single jersey t-shirts and stuff, they're very hard to repair because they tend to just continue to unravel. So we generally don't sort of fix that. And sometimes it'll just be like an area that's had lots of wear and tear and friction. And so that it's going to just continually create more and more holes. So in that case, it's probably more of you've well loved that garment and it might be time for a new one.
Yeah, you sometimes have to be the bearer of bad news, do you? And just say sorry, but the time has come.
Yeah. And hopefully we still do that same style for you.
Yeah. So sticking with the knit theme, Paige has asked here, are knit garments that have been shrunk irreparable?
Shrinkage, no, not really, sorry. Especially with wool, we don't do wool anymore, but we have had some people that have accidentally thrown their items into the dryer or a hot wash, and that has shrunk. So that is a little bit of a, I guess, dare I say, user error.
Might be a resell option, is it?
Yeah, might be a resell option. We had one that came in, it was so tiny that it was like, okay, that is actually now a child's jersey. So I think maybe Gosha actually kept it for her son.
Nice, some stylish kids out there then. Okay, so question here from Katie. I'll just read it out. Such an impressive program. Well done, Tessa and Kowtow team. To clarify, in New Zealand, a few Kowtow employees have been trained to support local repairs, ? Or do you outsource to professional machinists?
Yeah, so we have one customer care person who has just freshly been trained. Then our production development coordinator, she is trained. And then our garment technician has also been trained. But also a lot of us have come from a fashion background. So if need be, some of us could jump on board. But we bring external people into our Wellington workroom to support us with the repair program if we're finding we've got a bit of a backlog. And so we will do a small contract to get someone to come in and just get through the repairs because we do have that 4-week lead time. So we don't want that to be extending out for our customers because ultimately people want to get it back as soon as possible so they can keep wearing it.
Yeah, good. I wasn't realising I'm aware of that for the 4-week thing, but it makes a lot of sense. Just on the training thing itself, can you talk to what that involves? Like, I understand everyone probably starts at slightly different levels of skill and knowledge, but is it a big training program? Does it take months and months to train people? Are you training them on the Sashiko? Is that how you say it? Sashiko method? Tell us a bit more about what's involved in the training.
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't go on and on. I think So our customer care, who was the last one to come on board, she basically would shadow one of our other two repairers while they were doing the repairs and just watch them while they were doing it. And then they will slowly be introduced one by one. We don't just kind of sit them down and train them. We want that kind of real life experience with it, because each repair is it's not cookie cutter, like there's nuances to each of the repairs. And so there's a lot of ongoing support that the individuals have with someone who is more experienced, like our garment technician, who's been doing it for a very long time now, that they can be talked through the process and the best, the best type of repair that needs to be applied. But yeah, we have got a lot of knowledge of garment construction in-house, so we're very lucky in that sense to be able to support each other.
Yeah. I've got another question, but I'll ask these ones and come back to that. So one from Ness, from Go Well. Since switching to 100% plastic-free garments, have you found repair requests have increased?
Actually, not yet, which I think that was a real concern for us. And I think while we were switching out all of the components, we didn't just switch everything out in one go. We did things one by one. I think we started the journey like 6 or 7 years ago of just slowly kind of like swapping things out, so that we didn't end up with a huge disaster of everything falling apart and coming back to us. So I think the last thing for us was the thread, the 100% organic cotton thread, and we haven't had a major uptick. It's been pretty standard things coming back, I would say. But yeah, something that we are continually keeping an eye on. We keep a log of all of our repairs. Our repairs are, we analyze them each season, because also it might be something that we can feed back to our manufacturers, because it might be just something that they might have not got quite right in the make of the product. And so we just sort of, we feed back with them all the time on those things, just to make sure that doesn't come up again.
Yeah, well, that was the question I held off asking just before, but yeah, that the value of the feedback you're getting. So you spoke to the manufacturing opportunities there, or talking to them. What about in the design? Does it go to your designers as well, and identify that a particular way of, I don't know the language, sorry, but designing a seam or something, is it helping with your designers?
Yeah. So I lead a team of pattern makers and the production team, and we're a very close-knit team that work very close with design as well. So we have a lot of regular meetings to kind of discuss all of that information. But one of our senior pattern makers is also our fit specialist, and she also is the one analyzing all of the faulty and the repair information. So she's getting handed over from design, so naturally she's going to be feeding that back to design as well, so that everyone's on board of what's happening.
That was really smart to me. Another one here from Catherine Lovett. How have you managed custom expectation on repairs? You talked a little bit about that, but yeah, do you want to sort of a bit more around making sure customers are happy with the quality, I guess, and what you can and can't do?
Yeah, I guess we just have a really good customer care team that have a really nice way of communicating with our customers. We do get some people that are a little bit disgruntled about things, but that's generally due to if it's taken a long time to get back to them. Which is understandable, because people just want their garment back and they want to wear it, and they might not understand where their garment sits in the lineup of other repairs, and also the priority of all of our other workload. But we still have repair as a priority in our workloads. We block out time every week to make sure that we're not just putting it to a side and letting it build up. So I don't think we've had anything too bad coming back, but I think 4 weeks is, I think I said to someone this week, it's kind of like under promise and over deliver. It just gives us a good amount of space to kind of work within.
Yeah, cool. And to that point, Paige asked a question around, on average, how many repairs are you doing every 4 weeks in those kind of 4 week block?
Oh, 4 weeks in New Zealand. I think we average about 10-ish a week. So yeah, 40, but it definitely ebbs and flows. Like we had last week, we had someone dropped off like 11 pairs of pants to be, so I'm like,
Right.
that's one
Right.
week's quota.
And just a question from me, what's the average, I know it would vary a lot, but time that each one takes? Are we talking a day or two, or an hour or two?
No, minutes.
Minutes.
We're very
Okay. Wow.
efficient.
Oh, really? Right. Cool. So
Yeah, I
often,
mean, it depends if you average it out, but sometimes it might just be a really small hole that we just need to thread out the machine in the right color and then stitch it up
done.
and then
Yeah.
off you go. Yeah, so I mean, maybe we average, yeah, maybe minutes is probably maybe like 20 to 30 minutes would be kind of a conservative amount of
I'm sort of
time.
assessing it, doing it, getting it
Yeah,
back to them. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Sort of related to this, Katie has asked, from a cost perspective, what is the most costly element, is it, of the repair program? Time, shipping, materials, other?
Mm, Depending on the repair, it would be time, I would say. Yeah, because especially like this one here, which I'm wearing because it's been repaired. um,
Nice.
it was a seam that came undone in the back, and that's it's a machine knitted, so the machinist, sorry, the repair specialist has a tiny little crochet hook that she goes through and she picks up each of the tiny little loops and threads a new piece of yarn through there to pick it up. But yeah, what was the question again? Sorry.
That was from the cost in terms of
Yeah, the
what.
cost. So yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that, that's someone's wages.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most expensive thing, I would say, for
And
sure. And that's what I think I alluded to in the presentation, was that it's a little bit hidden at the moment because we don't have a full-time person
yeah,
doing repairs. It's being weaved in with the other workloads.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, question here from Paige. What was the hardest element to switch out to plastic free? A little bit off the repair topic, but quickly while we've got you, the plastic
Um,
free design, what was the hardest
I
part?
think two things. I think the elastic was really hard because we could not we did find an elastic on the market in Europe with a company called Charlie, and they were doing a natural rubber wrapped in organic cotton elastic, but it was super expensive, and then we were having to ship it from Europe to India to use. So then we actually went to our own trim suppliers and we developed one with them, which is it's been pretty good. We've had to do heaps of testing with it, but it's still something that we're kind of like working with them to perfect, to make sure we're getting the right spring back and the right amount of shrinkage, and we're having to like pre-wash it before we cut it and all these different things. So that's ongoing. I thought actually the thread would be the hardest, because the standard now is poly cotton. It was invented for a reason.
Mm,
It's very strong. Our machinists have actually thankfully slowed the machines down for us, so that they
slow
can
fashion.
stitch. Yeah, slow fashion it is, which is obviously not very economical for them either. But we have an amazing partner, manufacturers, so they love working with us and we love working with them. But yeah, I was very worried about the cotton, but I mean, people have been stitching garments with natural fibers for many, many, many years.
Many, many
So
years. Yeah.
it's just
Hey,
switching that narrative away from the poly cotton.
yeah. Hey, I noticed we're on time now, but I might just ask this last question that Catherine snuck in before then. Have you seen any insight into seasonality with the repairs, i.e., more happening in the winter?
Oh, I don't, no, I'm not really, because we tend to offer the same kinds of fabrics each season. It's just we either up the thickness or, add the sleeve lengths and stuff, or add more SKUs into denim or into flat knit. So no, I don't think that there's a seasonality insight there. Yeah.
Well, I will one final question as well, because it's a good one. Just any final comments from you in terms of advice to other brands or businesses that might be thinking about doing a program or running a repair program already?
Yeah, I mean, don't rush. I think you just need to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row, and don't feel like you have to have it all set up when you launch it. It's a learning experience. And I think if you're training people up, you need to kind of make sure that they are fully understanding of the product and how the product is made up. And I think start small, like we have, just like we just sort of like give it a go and see how it goes, and adjusted the program as it has scaled up, and continually reviewing it as well. So that's really important, because you might find you need more resources, or you can turn the marketing up and down a little bit to make sure that you're not overextending yourself. But I definitely think everyone should do it. It's definitely part of our responsibility as brands that are putting market onto, putting product onto the market. Yeah. No, we all live on this planet and we have to protect it. And I think repairing the products that we're making is all part of that. We don't want everything going into landfill and causing carbon emissions and warming up the planet. So it's a bit of a no-brainer for us, I think. And I think it should be a no-brainer for everyone.
Well, thank you, Tessa. Thank you so much for all you do in this space. Obviously, we've been working with you a long time. We've shared our admiration of you and the Kowtow team many times, but I'll share it again. We're huge fans of what you do and how you do it. I know that you've overcome lots of challenges to get to the place that you have now. So thank you for doing that work and continuing to kind of blaze a trail and show others what is possible. Thank you, and thank you for your time today. Really appreciate you taking some time out of your day, and well done on having the repair in your own clothing and the shito in the thing behind you, or the Sashiko in the thing behind you. Nice touch.
Yeah, thank you. And if anyone has any questions, I'm sure someone will be able to link you through to me or through GoWell or whatever. I'm happy to have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're happy with that, we'll drop your email into our wrap-up thing from this. Charlotte will send out, I'm sure, the recording and some of the information that we've shared. There's the links to the Aotearoa network for the repair week, if you're looking at that. And there's some, she's shared some links in the chat directly to Kowtow, I think, as well. But we will put all that in and share it. Thank you again. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Cool.
Ka kite.
See ya.